Hi everyone, my name is Laura Lopez. I am currently a student at Chattahoochee. I am a student of early childhood education and development, and we will be going over the importance of literature and language skill development. What does that mean? Well, as a whole, literature and language are the basis of what it is to communicate with someone else. Yes, there's elements of reading and writing, but in this early development of childhood scope, it is acquiring those skills, such as attuning to a conversation, being able to pick out what is a conversation from all the noise that's around us, being able to focus on the conversation at hand, being able to dialogue with someone, building vocabulary skills that the child will be developing, and of course communicating with the adult. Through the development of these skills, they are able to better communicate with peers, better to understand, relate to peers, whether it's verbal or nonverbal communication. Developing that language is vital for all young children. Aside from being able to communicate with others, they're able to better understand the materials. Again, whether this is through verbal communication of a typical developing child or for a child that would need support. They still need to be able to understand material being taught and also to critically think. And those skills go hand in hand. Language communication, writing, reading, math, science, they all go hand in hand. And the early onset of thinking abstractly comes from communicating with one another. In my classroom and in all classrooms, we should always encourage children to speak. I mean, there's no other way to develop language but by speaking. Always have that dialogue going, asking open-ended questions, support that conversation as well. Also providing experiences that support fine motor development, which is what we'll need: hand-eye coordination and finger coordination to write, to read, to hone in on stuff. So those practical skills definitely help a child develop these early skills that they require. Also being able to, I lost my word, but also being able to focus in and attune to what art is. It always starts with art. It's everything a child does is through art, and it develops into that further reading and writing. For toddlers, for example, and young infants, being able to grasp and build that grasp is very critical too, and being able to know what a utensil is, again, for that further purpose. For toddlers, they have so many ideas and they're able to better speak. So at this point, using puppetry and things that allow them to express things, even something so simple as materialistic little people in a dollhouse, those things also develop story for them. And when they're dialoguing with you, being able to hold that back and forth conversation, taking turns, those things support that. And for a preschooler as well, the same thing. Now they are able to put those letters that they've acquired and that they learned into sentences. So in a classroom, it's always good to promote those developing skills, to promote those speaking skills, to have the classroom decorated with words, familiar words like McDonald's and a car kind of thing. And where do we take things to, like the store? And those print materials also develop that sight for words and for understanding things. But it goes so much more than that. You get the left, right hemisphere, the bottom portion of your brain, everything goes hand in hand. So having a classroom that's diverse in the quality of material that we teach the children also help them better develop those early skills, and including technology as well. I know too much TV is not the ideal scope for children, but when all else fails, we have materials that can help them use their little fingers to develop letters. We have materials that help them read as the word is highlighted, have them see the word, see the letter in an introductory kind of scope. And as they get older, these things can read to them. For those children that have a harder time understanding the story being read or speaking those words, these are tools, and the advancement of technology does help children acquire those skills. So it's very critical that we are open and aware of academically stable and suitable materials for those children. And as parents, just talking to them the way you would talk to me, the way you talk to your coworkers and your spouse, having that turn taking conversation skill helps. asking open-ended questions, that gets them thinking critically instead of, did you have a good day today? That ends with a yes or no. Like, oh, what was your favorite part today? What did you and so play? Those questions get their brain thinking and help them think of the word to convey to you. When you read a story, don't just read it mundane. We hate when we go to an office and there's a meeting and everybody's just talking like this and they're pointing things out. No, be animated. Today was such a horrible day. It rained all day and my boots got wet. I'm just so tired, And when it's a good day, be like, oh, that delicious, warm Cinnabon was just hitting the right spot today. Be animated. Point out the colors, point out the letters, reflect it to experiences that you and your child share. Giving them toys and tools that, again, provoke that conversation, matching letters to things to get them to see more words and more letters, rhyming and song lyric practices. Those things are so critical. And for young children, like infants and toddlers, repeating the same story over and over just really supports that early reading and language development as well. There's an infinite amount of things that one can do. And as parents, they're eager to be around you and they're eager to hear your experiences and they are eager to hear from you. So just simply modeling what you do through reading and, being amazed by literature and writing and even narrating what you do when you're sitting them down, especially for the little babies. Narrating what you're doing, whether I'm picking up a book and we're going to read a story together, or you see mommy is chopping down the orange carrots and this knife is very, very sharp, so we have to be extremely careful. So narration, modeling, and engagement are just critical, fundamental, exciting ways that you yourself can get your child to read and write and engage in conversation at such an early age. Thank you so very much for listening, and I hope this was a little more enlightening and insightful as far as what language and literature is, and it's not a scary monster to tackle. It's very simple. It's just participating in it and just being open to everything your child can absorb.